Okay, and next I want to talk about working with paths. And paths are helpful when you want to create an outline around a certain object in your photo, and perhaps you want to isolate that from the background. That's one thing you can do with the paths palette. And so in this case, I'm going to zoom up on this goose. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up the Paths palette. And you find the Paths palette by going to Window and to Paths. And I think I already had that, but bring it up again. Okay. And what I'm going to do, again, in this Paths palette, I'm going to bring this over here. And let's get rid of that right there. There we go. I think I'm going to separate these here a little bit. Okay, on the Paths palette, I'll bring that down. There's a little arrow right here, and what you're going to do is you're going to click on that arrow, and it's going to bring a drop-down menu for you to see. And in this case, what you want to do, you want to say, I want to create a new path. And that brings up another box, and it says, well, by default, it calls it Path 1. You can name it whatever you need to. I just leave it at Path 1. I don't have to use that many paths within a photo, so I'll just call it Path 1. I'm going to say OK. And so, as you see here, it automatically creates a little box here, which we're going to begin with. Now, in order to use the Path tool, what you're going to do to create your path is you're going to use what's called the Pen tool. And click right here. You have different actions of the pen that you can use, but we're going to start with just the Pen tool. And see, that's the pen icon there. I'm going to zoom up just a little bit more with the magnifying tool. Again, go back to the Pen tool. And so what you do with the Pen tool, you're going to pick just a starting point. And what you're going to do, you'll be making little points along the way. You're making a path. Is what you're doing. And so I'm going to start right here. And as I click, you see it makes little squares. It's also going to make a little path as we go along. And so what I'm doing here is that I'm following the contour of this bird. I want to make a copy of this bird and maybe have an additional bird in this photo. And so you can see I'm following along the contour of the bird. And as you go around different curves, you want to be a little careful. You want to make it really look as natural as you can. And if you do leave out a little bit of something, no one's really going to know. And so you're just following along on the bird. Again, we're going to go up the neck here. And, when you're dealing with a curve, it can be a little trickier. So you want to maybe have your points just a little closer together so the curve looks smooth to you. And so we're going up on the head, the bumps on the head, and just following that down. And, if you find that as you're going along and making your path, if you finally kind of get off the path a little bit, say, well, I didn't mean to do that, you can just do that with what we call a Command-Z in Mac, and that'll undo that. And then you just pick up right where you left off. And that continues to make the path around the bird. Again, following down the neck, down the front of the body. Whoop, see, I made a little mistake there. I'm going to undo that, go back, and I'm going to follow on down. Again, if it's not on the path where you want it, you just undo it and try again. Again, don't be afraid to make mistakes in Photoshop. That's how you learn. Again, that wasn't quite where I wanted it. Again, when you're going around a curve, you may want to have your points just a little bit closer together. But eventually what I'm going to be doing here is making what we call a closed path. And so I'm going down to the bottom here, almost to the end. I got only one more point to do. I'm going to click that last point. Now you see all those squares are removed, and we have created a path or a cutout of this goose. And so once you have that closed path, what I want to do in this case is I want to make a selection. And this is one of the ways that you can select cleanly an image within a photo that you want to copy. And so once I have my path closed, I'm going to go here to this drop-down menu, and I have an option called Make Selection. And so I'm going to make selection, and I'm going to say, and this box comes up. It has a default. It says the feather radius is 0 pixels. I always leave it there. I don't normally have to change that. I'm going to say OK. And as you can see here, it has now made a selection of the bird, in this case. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the whole photo. And so now I'm going to copy that selection. And how you do this is by using Command C in Mac. I'm going to Command C, and then when you want to paste an image, you're going to do Command V. Command V for pasting. And so I'm going to do Command V. And it's interesting, if you go over here in the Layers palette, that automatically has created a new layer. In fact, if I undo the layer below that one I created, I mean, there's just the bird right there by himself. But again, I've essentially created, and it didn't look like there's a copy there yet because I haven't moved it. And so I have that bird as an extra element in this Photoshop document, and so now I can move them around. Say I wanted to create more birds. I didn't have enough birds in my photo, so this is one of the ways that you can do it. I can bring them anywhere over here that I want, somewhere that perhaps looks natural, and that's one of the things that you can do is to copy an image and create multiples of that bird in that image. If you wanted to create more of that, actually what you would do, you go to the Layers palette, you would drag that down to the bottom where it says Copy, and it's going to create yet another copy of that bird. So you've got another one. Maybe you got one up here in the bush. Unlikely, but you say you could do that. And so I'm going to actually delete that particular layer, get rid of that. And so here we have the extra bird. And so this is one of the ways that you can copy an image. But if you just want to isolate, again, one of the reasons for using the Paths tool is to isolate an image, to isolate it from the background and duplicate an image. And sometimes you just want to take out the background of an image. And this is one of the ways that you would do that, just by, in this case, creating a path around the bird, isolating the bird, and copying it and pasting it. And so, in a nutshell, that is the Paths tool.